In the middle years of the last century, many believed the millennium was at hand. Some believed a Messiah, as promised by all the great religions, was about to deliver us into the promised land. Others believed deliverance would come about through science and technology. With the advances being made in communication and transportation, ideas raced around the world and promised deliverance through knowledge. But no Messiah descended from the clouds. Science and technology only brought greater suffering, and for all its many blessings, education failed to stop the darkness from descending. The world's governments and the world's religions offered no answers. On into our own century, people began to wonder, had God abandoned the world? Was God, in fact, dead? Is it possible, however, that the frenzy of expectation was justified? That an event that would transform the world actually did take place, and humanity missed it? Is it possible that the world failed to recognize the power of a new prophet? Count Leo Tolstoy, the Russian novelist and one of the most important philosophers of his time, from his home outside Moscow.
We spend our lives trying to unlock the mystery of the universe, but there was one man, a prisoner in Akká, who had the key.
Promises of a paradise on earth continue to be cruel deceptions. The people of the world appear even more impotent as the forces of evil threaten to diminish and eclipse the human spirit.
The strife that divides and afflicts the human race is daily increasing. The winds of despair are blowing from every direction. The well-being of mankind, its peace and security, are unattainable until its unity is firmly established.
He spoke to us over 100 years ago from a prison cell in the Middle East. He wrote that God had set in motion historical forces that no power on earth can resist.
The time foreordained unto the peoples and kindreds of the earth is now come. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens.
His name was Bahá'u'llah, and his growing influence is the great untold story of our times.
I am the royal falcon on the arm of the Almighty. I unfold the drooping wing of every broken bird and started on its flight.
His given name was Mirza Hussein Ali. He was born in Persia in 1817 and spent his youth in the pastoral countryside of Nur, the son of a nobleman of great wealth. He grew up in a closed world of intolerance and injustice, a world of repression. But he rejected the wealth and the advancement it offered.
The learning current amongst men I studied not, their schools I entered not. Ask of the city wherein I dwelt, and thou mayest be well assured that I am not one of them who speak falsely.
Already at an early age, he had a vision that was in conflict with the state and the prevailing religious order. It wasn't long before the state found his support of a movement that called for moral reform threatening. He was arrested and imprisoned in Tehran's worst prison, the Black Pit of Siachal.
No pen can depict that place, nor any tongue describe its loathsome smell. It was a place foul beyond comparison.
His enemies hoped imprisonment would kill Bahá'u'llah. Instead, in the darkness of Siachal, he was summoned to undertake a mission extending far beyond his own land and his own time.
Though the weight of the change in the stench-filled air allowed me but little sleep, I felt as if something flowed from the crown of my head over my breast, as a mighty torrent from the summit of a lofty mountain. Every limb of my body would be set afire.
Bahá'u'llah left that prison and was exiled to the territories of the Turkish Empire. It was in exile that he announced his mission.
This is the day in which mankind can hear the voice of the Promised One. Soon will the present day order be rolled up and a new one spread out in its stead.
Baha'u'llah really opened a whole new horizon there. He explained that the Creator has always communicated with his creation by means of special individuals. Abraham, Moses, Buddha, Zoroaster, Krishna, Christ, Muhammad. They all spoke with knowledge that came from the same source and led to the same goal. And they came at different times, spoke to very different people, and unlocked different capacities, both individually and in people as a society. And in this day and age, it is Baha'u'llah who speaks to us with that same authority in that same line, and the capacity he came to unlock is the unity of mankind.
Baha'u'llah reaffirmed that message even as he was exiled to the empire's most remote and desolate prison in Akká, a port city on the north coast of Palestine in the Holy Land. This was the end of the world, and his imprisonment was meant to silence him forever.
Know that though my body be beneath the swords of my foes, and my limbs be beset with incalculable afflictions, yet my spirit is filled with a gladness with which all the joys of the earth can never compare.
From his prison cell in exile, Baha'u'llah sent letters to the kings and rulers of the 19th century world. These letters are among the most remarkable documents in religious history. He called upon the leaders to join in a process of global consultation that would lay the foundations of the world's great peace.
Should any king take up arms against another, all should unitedly arise and prevent him.
He challenged the most powerful leaders of the world, from the Shah of Persia to the Tsar of Russia, Queen Victoria of England, Emperor Franz Joseph of Austria, the Sultan of Turkey, Pope Pius IX, Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, and Napoleon III of France.
What he said in these letters that he wrote to them was that God had set in motion historical forces that were bringing about the unification of mankind and the creation of this new society, and he called on them to participate in this process. They had the capacity, had they been willing to focus on reality instead of on their own private agendas, they had the capacity to give an enormous impulse to this process of the unification of mankind. They had it in their power to help mankind to reconcile itself to its unity, to begin to let go slowly of attachment to lesser identities, lesser loyalties that were limiting, and surrender to the currents of history. They chose not to.
Baha'u'llah's letters also foretold with breathtaking accuracy the fall of the rulers who did not join in the pursuit of the Great Peace. Napoleon III unexpectedly fell. The Turkish Sultan was overthrown and the Ottoman Empire collapsed. Papal rule ended in Italy. And the German Empire was devastated by successive wars in Europe. Baha'u'llah's vision extended beyond the era in which he lived. He warned of the consequences of resisting the oneness of humanity.
Witness how the world is being afflicted with a fresh calamity every day. Its tribulation is continually deepening. One must discover the cause of the disease and grasp the knowledge of the remedy.
As our planet shrinks, it seems to become more dangerous. But is it coming apart, or is it coming together? Is it breaking up, or becoming one?
That which the Lord hath ordained as the sovereign remedy for the healing of all the world is the union of all its people in one universal cause.
Baha'u'llah writes that the breaking up and the coming together are part of the same process.